Hi everyone, hi every spirit. I wish you are having an amazing day. Daddy here, and I want to congratulate you with Jupiter in Aries. I wish you are having an amazing, beautiful Jupiter day or whatever day you are in. Right now I'm filming this on Jupiter day, so I want to just give a little shout out to Jupiter in Aries. Jupiter in Aries is going to be a lot about expanding and gaining wisdom and knowledge on your own individuality, on your own interests, on your own individual and your own individual ways to create your own creativity, to pay attention to things, to whatever you are creatively into individually. That is going to be what you are personally expanding on. So whatever area you have Aries in will be the area where you will be expanding and you are going to be gaining wisdom and knowledge in. So make sure that you are being yourself, that you are being individual, that you are able to sustain your own self, that you are able to gain wisdom and knowledge by yourself, that you are able to be a individual without having to rely on somebody else's ideas, somebody else's thoughts, somebody else's things, because Jupiter, as it was in Pisces, it was at home, it was in its feminine side. In its feminine side, with that Neptunian energy, we were expanding and we were gaining wisdom and knowledge on our dreams, illusions, the way we correlate our own feelings to other people's feelings and emotions and things like that. So it was at home, so it was a bit more chill. It was this past 1 year, it was in Pisces, 1 year, 2 years. It has been in Pisces, so we have been feeling relatively more comfortable within how we gain wisdom, knowledge. We might have even taken our dreams and what we were expanding on for granted, and right now that Jupiter goes into Aries, it really is the time for you to show up and for you to really show that you yourself are able to take care of yourself. You are not relying on somebody else's knowledge, you are not relying on somebody else's wisdom and knowledge, because you yourself were able to go through the experiences, and right now it's time to show that. Right now it's time to go in on your own spirituality, your own way to be able to teach the world, be able to teach yourself. So we are going to be more gaining wisdom and knowledge on our own individual path, on our own individual way to create imaginations, our own way to be passionate, and our own way to be creative, right? Because Aries is all about initiating that creativity, initiating that passion, being passionate and being creative, all about that shit. So I'm not going to develop too much longer on that. And yeah, I wish you are having an amazing day. And today I want to make this quick little video, which will be a part series. So I'm going to make this video, which is the introduction, right? And on the next ones, I'm going to be bringing up each and every sign. So right now, in this little introduction, what I want to talk about is how can we balance, how can we calibrate our own mind, how can we calibrate our own spaceship, and specifically about the sun, but you can correlate it to any planetary energy, any planet that you have in your chart, whatever area it is. If you want to calibrate that specific energy that you use, make sure that you know about what that planet is, you know exactly about what that placement is. And shout out to Esotericcloudsurfer, by the way. His LinkTree will be in my description down below, as well as mine. So yeah, what I was saying is that right now I'm going to be specifically talking about the sun. So what is the sun, right? The sun is what we pay attention to, what we have created as spirits being no thing, no shape or form. Me being as an individual spirit, I am a space that has become aware, has created a water cycle. Me going around my own space, I have created a unique individual vibration, frequency and vibration. So I have my own energy signature, being that very unique, being that something that makes me a solo spirit, making me a soul. So by us being all spirits interacting with each other, we are all each unique and individual souls that have created a mind for ourselves. And one of those minds is the sun. So talking about the sun right now is the spaceship that we have created for ourselves to jump in, for us to express ourselves in the world, what we pay attention to, what is the mark of our individuality, how we individually see us, and how we individually want others to see us, what we want from the world, what we want in the world, what we strive for, or what we pay attention to. So it will be very different depending on the season that you were born, right? Because this is a whole water cycle that we are in. We are a little water cycle within a bigger water cycle, which we call Gaia, Earth, whatever you may call it. And that in itself is a water cycle in itself. So it creates seasons. Water cycles create seasons, and depending on the day, degree, because day is a degree. By you being born on a day, you were born in a degree, and by you having a certain degree in that specific season, in that specific month, you will have your own moon sign, you will have your own sun sign degree. So right now I'm going to be talking specifically about your sun, what you pay attention to, how you express yourself, and how you are how do you individually go about your own expression, your own creativity, your own wants. So if you want to correlate it with the moon, by the way, it's just instead of being what you pay attention to, what you want is what you need, what you attract, what you receive, how you feel, how you care, how you manifest things into your life. Okay, what you attract into your life. So right now I'm going to talking about the sun, how you express yourself, and how can you calibrate how you express yourself and what you pay attention to, right? So what do I mean by calibrating? What do I mean by balancing? When you start to go about the world, right? When you start to pay attention to things, when you start to express yourself in the world, you are going to be paying attention to specific things, right? You are not going to be paying attention to everything, only if you are a Pisces, and that will not work very well. But we are going to be talking about Pisces as well, don't you worry. I'm a Pisces sun. I'm gonna do that first. I'm gonna do that straight away, put myself in a cross for y'all to understand what I mean. But by you having so what was my point? So you pay attention to a specific thing. You start to pay attention and express specific things depending on your sun sign and other alignments that align with that. But specifically right now about the sun, what you pay attention to will be you will start paying attention to things. You will start expressing. You will start to see what you want. You are going to be going for what you want, and there will be times, a lot of times, specifically and especially in this world right now, you can get real flunked out because of the other energies in the sky, because you have your own sky, right? You are a snapshot. You have a natal chart. You have your own snapshot of the sky when you were born. So you have your Mars, Venus, Jupiter, whatever, Sun, Moon, Mercury, all of that is you in a snapshot in that specific moment that you were born. So that is your snapshot, that is your unique signature. And this water cycle, as I was saying, this is a bigger water cycle. It continues revolving, it continues going and flowing into new directions. So the currents will still continue going on, the seasons continue going on, but you as a snapshot also continue going on, right, with the currents that are outside. So there will be this correlation, right? And many times we may get there might be 180 oppositions. There might be some form of squares going on in the sky. There might be just you yourself might not be correlating very well with the world. You might not be seeing the right reactions from others that you were expecting. So that in itself is you getting a bit flunked out into the world. You getting too much outside of yourself, and you're trying to correlate what is wrong with me. Why am I not being received well? Why am I why my individuality is not being taken well, and things of that nature. So what I want to do in this video, what I want to explain in this little introduction video is how can you calibrate your own mind, your own sun, specifically, because we have a lot of minds, we have a lot of wills that we have spiraled in to create a light. Specifically about the sun, how can I calibrate what I pay attention to and how I express myself in the right way, so even if nobody receives it well, I know that what I'm doing is right for me and that is right for my spiritual path, and I know that if people don't accept my individuality, fuck them, right? But also not go too far onto being on your high horse, so you also don't fall too hard on your ass when you are too high on your high horse, because we all must come down and come up. We can never stay up and always, because that in itself is already disbalanced. You have to have some form of ground basis so you can go high, you can expand, you can have some form of higher imaginations, higher ways to go about your life, so you have some form of stability, right? So in this case, there will be a lot of ways for you to correlate and to balance your own energy, right? Your own sun, your own expression. But in this specific video, I want to make two little ways to calibrate. I want to show you two little ways to calibrate your own energies. And first, the first one, which is pretty obvious, which is the 180 balancing calibration, by you going straight from, for example, imagine you have your sun in a specific house, right? You have the 360 of your own space, right? And by you correlating your sun, you have your sun in a specific house, you can jump straight for you to balance, for you to see yourself from outside, from a further perspective, for you to see your own expression from a further perspective, from a opposite, from let's say complementary energy, right? Because opposite is also complementary, depending on how it is perceived, depending on how it is taken. You might oppose or you may complement your own expression with that energy. So by you jumping into the furthest point of whatever your sun is, to the opposite sign of wherever your sun is, will be the area, or will be the energy that will help you, that you can be in, that you can revolve around, so you can balance and you can actually correlate your expression in the right way for yourself, so you can see yourself from an outside perspective and actually be able to in a sense criticize, not so much in a bad sense, but that can also happen by default. You criticize, you see yourself from an outside perspective and see, okay, I'm paying attention to some bullshit, or I'm paying attention to this, that, and the third, and by you being in that opposite energy, you are able to balance and to correlate your own energy, so you are not too flunked out and not too much in your mind, right? Because as a spirit, by you being too much in your mind, you might start getting influenced by the mind, and you might start being used by the mind, and that's what we don't want. That's what we want, is use the mind. That's why we created the mind as spirits. We wanted to use it, we wanted to jump into the mind, jump into this body, to actually express ourselves, to actually show our individuality and our uniqueness, show that anything is possible through possibilities, through limits and boundaries, right? So we can expand as spirits and actually have some form of reality, make some sense about what we have going on. So that is one of the balancing ways, one of the ways to calibrate your own spaceship, your own ways to pay attention to the world, is by going on to the opposite side, to the furthest degree of your sun sign, so you can actually see yourself from an outside perspective without having to rely on others to tell you that you've been doing shit, or that you are doing this and that, and you being all influenced like, oh, I don't know what I did and what I didn't, but you know deep down that you have been lost in your mind, or you just want to calibrate a bit your own expression. I'm just going to a more extreme case, because that happens. You get all flunked out into your mind, you are in your own high horse, and you can see yourself from others' perspectives, you can see yourself outside of that mind, and then that's when you get lost in your own ego. You start to become all giddy and mighty, but then somebody can shoot you down out of your high horse and you don't have any stability, right? And that's what we don't want, and that's why I'm making this video. Okay, so that is one of the things I'm going to be talking about, is the 180 cycle, 180 balancing calibration tool, instrument, way for you to jump in and see yourself from an outside perspective. And then we have the planetary calibration. We have the planetary counterpart, which will be each and every sign. Each and every sign has its own planetary counterpart, right? Mars has Aries, the masculine side, and Mars and Scorpio, the feminine side. So we know that the planets have been born in the feminine side, of feminine portion of the feminine portion of the 360, right? So we know that Mars has been born in Scorpio, and Jupiter has been born in Pisces, and going on to the masculine side being Jupiter being Sagittarius, Mars being Aries, and things of that nature. So that in itself will help you use those planetary energies that you have more going on, because you are paying more attention to it, and you pay more attention to that. So by you using that planetary, so by you using the other the feminine or the masculine side of whatever you have your sun in, that planetary counterpart will be the best way for you to express that planetary energy through your sun sign, without you going too much onto too masculine, being too expressive without having emotional support, or being too emotional without having logical and rationality, right? So there has to be some form of balance, and those are the two types of balance calibration systems that I want to break down in these little videos. So this will be my this is my little presentation, this little introduction to what I'm talking about right now. And I hope this wasn't too all over the place. I'm going to be on the next one, I'm going to be posting straight away Pisces Sun, so we can have some form of starting point, because I myself have Pisces Sun. So I'm going to start from there, and we are going through then Aquarius, Capricorn, and all of those other signs, so we can actually correlate this in the best way, so we are able to balance our own expression, what we pay attention to, in the best way, without having to rely in the outside world to tell us about ourselves. Okay, so you know about yourself before actually somebody else tells you about yourself. Okay, so don't get too flunked out, and I will see you all very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Shout out to all the pilot man, shout out to you, shout out to my soul group, shout out to Esotericcloudsurfer, he's my beautiful partner, and I wish you have an amazing Jupiter in Aries, so you don't get too flunked out. Make sure you are in your own individuality, in your own expression, and that you are gaining wisdom and knowledge, and that you are open to gain wisdom and all knowledge on your own individuality, your own way to create creativity, your own way to create fire, passion, and motivation. Okay, so until the next one, I will see you all very soon. Bye.